These are one of the easiest plants to find in nurseries. And the thing is, when you buy one, you're going to end up with as many as you want. How can you not love a plant that grows on its own, looks beautiful in the garden for the animals to hide under for shelter or whatever? You buy one, you can propagate pieces of the plant and end up with dozens or hundreds of the plant. And that's what I did here. That plant you just saw grew into this beautiful, huge bush. Just take a little piece, stick it in a cup, and you have so many of these geraniums to give away to your friends, family, or enemies. And why would I say that? Gary says they grow way too fast for him, and Daddy always seems to be trimming them. I think they don't grow fast enough for me. Ooh, a misty, rainy day. So many of you have asked about geraniums. The main reason I love geraniums, and they're all over the place, is because there's no work. Here in Southern California, they don't like freeze, so if you're growing them in pots, you may have to move them in. They grow like a weed. Let me tell you something. Gary doesn't like them. Do you see this? It all started with two little plants I got at the nursery. I got this one, which was a mistake, and it grows over here. I grabbed the wrong one. I didn't realize this is a ivy. And see how it goes up? Well, actually, Gary's got ideas now suddenly for it. This is an ivy one. I wanted two bush-like. These are all bush-like. So I bought a pink that day and a purple. This is quite a few years ago. Came home and planted them and found out how easy it is to propagate. So it went from being in a pot there, and there's another one there, to breaking off pieces. And then here there's bricks, those cement blocks. I'll show you. Let's walk over here. See the cement blocks? Well, I went ahead years ago. There's a video where my granddaughter was baking and she threw out everything. I found it in the kitchen trash. I said, what happened? The video I'm going to show you right now, this part, is from 3 years ago. My granddaughter was making cake pops. They didn't work out, both in chocolate and vanilla. She threw them out. I dug them out of the garbage. And this is what I did here in the bricks. I literally threw them in there. There was a little bit of tulle I put there because I didn't want all the soil to fall deep down into the hole. And then I just filled it with the cake pop, the little bit of tulle, and the napkin too. It was going to break down with some soil. Any soil I had from around here, from old flower pots or old roots in there, it doesn't matter. I even stuffed leaves in some of them because that will break down. Then I took a piece of geranium, that's small, and I put it in the soil. I had some walking onions I stuck in there, but the walking onions got lost with the geraniums. And there's the rock. 3 years ago, I've been using rocks for years. And you see how small the pieces, you know what the place looks like now. And I did all of them, both in the pink ones and the salmon colored ones. Look how tiny they were 3 years ago. And let me tell you something, Gary's brought them to the ground multiple times to trim them because they got so big. Tell me what happened.
Half of the cake pops I made, I was able to freeze, so I was able to dip them in the chocolate. And then I ran out of chocolate, and then the ones I had left over weren't staying. And when I tried mushing them back together in a ball to put in the freezer, they were dissipating and not staying in ball-like form. That one slammed onto the floor. I was trying to put it away so it would stand up on this grate so it could dry. It just slammed onto the floor. So that one didn't do well. But there's also little balls in there somewhere.
Oh, no, they're not anymore. I already dug them out.
Oh, you
These are going to be the favorite of worms and microbes. So your cake pops are now going to go in to the vegetable garden. So say goodbye.
I'm glad that they're going to use.
So I took all the cake and frosting and I stuck them in the bricks in here, these cement blocks. See the cement blocks? There's one, nothing in that one. And I put all the cake and frosting in there, put some soil on top, took a bunch of cuttings, just cut them off and jabbed them in there, and they grew like mad. Remember, sugar brings a lot of microbes, and I knew it would. I did not want to see that in the trash. So I planted all these up, and this is like a salmon. I call it salmon. I don't even know what they call it. It's not red, so it's kind of like a salmon color. And then this is the ivy. These are bush, and these are a little bit of a fuzzy leaf. This is a shiny, smooth, rubbery leaf. So they're different. But as you can see, this one too, kind of a fuzzy leaf. Now these are pink, and that's the salmon. I'm not sure where the salmon came from. I might have snapped the piece off somewhere. I might have bought it. But I know I bought pink and this lavender because those are the only two plants I bought that day. So if you look around, and I have looked, there's no seed heads in here. See how it falls off? That means the plant did not develop seeds. I see no seeds here. I do believe that the true pollinator are moths at night. And I have seen in the summer the tomato hornworms, not the hornworms, but the moth, come through here. And I don't know if it's pollinating, what it's doing, but it's gathering something out of them because they really like that. But see how it comes off? If it develops seeds, there'll be a pod underneath. But when they fall off like that, there's no seeds. It's nothing. So it's not being pollinated at all. I have never seen seeds off of this one. Now I have seen seeds form on the pink one occasionally. They look kind of like sow thistle or dandelion. If they make it, see how they see how they come off? No seeds. They're fuzzy. It will pop open. It would develop a ball, and on the plant, it will pop open. Like I said, I do know that the pink ones occasionally do have seeds. Now, I will say that I haven't seen any out here, but I know that on my deck, I've seen the moths at night on there, and I do develop seeds. Now, here I had my camera set up on my fountain I was working on, the hanging one, and at night, my camera let me know that there was something there, and I thought, what? Look at that. That is a moth going ahead and feeding on the pink geraniums, because they're growing there and they're growing further back. And if you notice, he's going to every flower. If he wasn't getting anything out of there, generally, like hummingbirds, they peck a little bit at it and then leave. Well, other insects would do the same thing. They would leave and go find another plant. So they are attracted to geraniums. He went around, flew into the camera. They don't like the infrared. A lot of creatures can see that. And came back to the same flowers and went around and continued to collect nectar or pollen, whatever they're doing in the geraniums. They seem to come to the deck more so than in the garden. I don't know why. It's a whole different position, but whatever. The moths like to come to the deck, and that's the area they're feeding on, and that's the place I'm getting seeds. Now what's going on here is I've got the pink and the salmon there. Don't count the purple ones, the violet ones at all. Now I had two plants that came up, one here and one over there. That one kind of fizzled out and disappeared. This one's actually growing in the soil. These are in pots. All the other ones, everything you see here, this is growing in a tote. See how pink they are? It's probably root bound too. See how pink they are? These I planted. I took all the leaves, I think it was last year from the garden, gathered it up, threw it in that giant tote, and then threw a whole bunch of the geranium stems in there, and they grew. That's in a tote. This is in the ground, but that again, we're not counting that. So I realized, I didn't even pay attention the other day, that this one is a very light color. I don't know if anybody'd even keep this. Like I said, professional people that grow this to produce, exceptional flowers or foliage, I don't know if they'd keep this. See, if you look at this, do I sacrifice one? Let's see, there's no seeds. No, let's pick this one. See how light this is? Then the mother plant, you can see it over here. See the color? This is very light, and these are very dark. You can actually see it really well on the camera. And I believe that these cross-pollinated. One of these did develop seeds. Let's see if this one, no, I don't see any, but we'll check in the summer. So it cross-pollinated, and it went from really light, because this is pinky, and picked up a little bit of this salmon color, which could have a little bit of an orange, let's say, and that's what it developed. So I ended up with cross-pollinated with the moth, and again, I'm saying moth, but I'm not 100% sure. Going through there, the seeds got over here, and that one grew, again in the ground. This one's got a little bit of a lighter colored leaf, and if you look, see how this is really dark green? This one's a little lighter. See how the leaf is a little lighter? Well, if you look on the salmon one again has a lighter color leaf. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it there. So here's a photo I took. You'll see the salmon to the left, a lighter leaf with a dark center, and to the right, the pink one with a green center, but a ring in the middle of the leaf, but a little bit different green. but this one is really a nice compact little plant. I'm keeping it just because it's different. But that is what's going on. So the true pollinator, I think, is moths, because I see at night the moths go to them. And see how they, let me step back here. They really are bright. And in the dark, they kind of really show up really good. Where a lot of plants, you don't see the flowers at night. But with geraniums, it's almost like they're iridescent. So it must attract the moths. Now the smell is very different. Some people do not like the smell of geraniums. It has a very distinct smell, which, let me tell you something, is really good. Now, why would that be good? I have never found any insects or rabbits or squirrels or rodents or anything eat geraniums. Yet I've looked it up and they're supposed to be not toxic. I wouldn't eat them. I'm just saying. No insects go to geraniums. It's any of them, even this one that's got the smooth leaf. But these have a little bit of a fuzzy leaf, which probably protects them from the sun because they don't mind the heat. It could be 110 degrees and they're just out here thriving. But no insects go to them. Yet the birds will. The hummingbirds will pick around. I don't believe there's any nectar in there. What I do believe is they're looking for anything, maybe a little insect that landed on it. Sure, the bees may land on it, but they're not finding anything in there. I think they're just looking, and they do test. What you can do with geraniums, and I do it too, is you can take cuttings from them and put them around your other plants. So hopefully, in theory, if you had a brassica growing, which does attract insects, and you had geraniums around there, something would fly by and smell the geranium, go, nah, there's nothing here for me, and just fly away, instead of going and being attracted to your brassica, your cauliflower, your broccoli, your lettuce, whatever you're growing in an area. It could help deter insects. Another thing I happen to really like about it, let's walk over here. I can't stay here long. This is not the first one. This is the second one. We have a nest in here. And I don't know if I can show you the eggs. I really don't want to bother her because I just saw her take off. No, I'm not going to bother her. But this is a nest right in here. And you can see the nest, and the eggs are really deep down. She made like a kind of a tubular nest in there. So they've got eggs in there. But what was funny, and you saw it before, here's the one I stuck in the tote. And here's the nest here, but they're gone already. Is there a nest in there? Hold on. No, I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. I'd have to, let me see if I can climb back there. It doesn't matter if I step on them. They're gone. These are gone already. There's the nest. And I do believe they were either fox sparrows or song sparrows. They built in there, had their babies, and I'm not sure if it's the same ones, came back and built a new nest there. They don't, a lot of times, some of these birds nest in the same nest repeatedly. You know, predators might come to it. They might sense that there's birds there because of the droppings and stuff left. So they tend to move their nest. And a lot of times these birds like to be nearby where they nested, especially if they were successful. So I do believe they moved from there to here. So that's what's going on here. So am I in love with geraniums? I grow zinnias, I grow marigolds, I grow salvias, which the hummingbirds love, and penstemons that I cut back last year that are coming back right now. I grow all that. But the reason I grow this, because they're just so darn easy. And there's no work. You don't have to deadhead them. You don't have to trim them. When the leaves are brown, I haven't done anything. They fall off. When the flowers are done, they fall off. There's no insects. I don't even have to think about anything. And they're just here. And if you don't want them, sometimes Gary goes through and hacks the dickens out of them. And guess what? They come right back. That's why I like geraniums. They're basically a filler plant for me. So because I haven't gotten to the front yard at all, because now we've got the nest that was there, and now we have a nest that was there, and I do want to do the table and get some vegetables growing. I want to get back to my totes. It doesn't look barren. Oh, there she is. There's Mama. You can't see her. She wants to go back to her nest, and she doesn't want to go back until I leave. Oh, son of a gun. And there's the squirrel. He lives up in the pine tree. I don't know if you can see him there. There's a lot of activity here. And that's another thing. You don't want to just stare at a nest with a lot of critters around, because the critters, look at this, there he goes, hold on. You know where he just came from? He went to get bird seed. Because if you look at a nest and there's especially ravens around, they're so smart, they'll watch you and they'll go look and rob the nest. So you don't want to hang around a nest too long, even if you have one in your yard. Kind of look from a distance and make sure nobody else is looking, but they're filler plants. So my front yard still looks pretty. I can go ahead and fix up some of the stuff, and I don't even have to do anything, and yet I can take full credit. Isn't the front yard nice? It's full of flowers, and I didn't do a thing. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. And if you're looking for something so easy, think about geraniums. And if you're in an area that is cool, put them in pots so in the winter you can drag them underneath eaves, keep them out of the weather, and keep them out of the snow. And they should be good to go. She does want to go back. Yeah, she's back there. She's way back there. She wants to go back. Okay, I'm going to leave so she can go back and do her babies. Have a great day. Aren't they pretty? Look at all the work I did. Yeah, right.